Have you ever felt like anger takes control of you? Like it pushes you to act in ways you later regret? If so, you're not alone. It is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. Anger, when left unchecked, is a storm that devastates not only the person who feels it, but also those around them. It's like holding fire in your hands, thinking it will burn someone else, when, in fact, it burns you. But the good news is that you have the power to control it. You don't have to be its prisoner. So, hello and welcome to Way to Enlightenment. Today I'm going to share a story that will open your eyes to the true danger of anger, followed by some practical steps to master this emotion. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to manage your anger so effectively that it will never control you again. This could be the day you change your relationship with anger forever. Listen carefully, for this lesson can save you from many regrets in life. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by vast forests and mountains, there was a noble king. He was known for his bravery and wisdom, but like all of us, he had his weaknesses, one of which was his temper. Although a fair ruler, the king was quick to anger, especially when things didn't go his way. One fateful day, the king set out on a hunting expedition deep into the forest. As he ventured far, he found himself lost in a dense forest. The sun beat down relentlessly, and the king became incredibly thirsty. His throat felt parched, his body weak, and all he could think about was water. Despite searching everywhere, there was no water in sight. His desperation grew until he noticed a tree, from whose branches small drops of water were dripping. The king, eager for relief, gathered leaves and shaped them into a small bowl. Slowly, painstakingly, he began collecting the drops of water. It took a long time to fill the bowl, but once it was full, the king's heart filled with hope. He lifted the bowl to his lips, ready to quench his thirst. But just as he was about to drink, a parrot flew down and knocked the bowl from his hands, spilling all the water on the ground. The king was furious. How dare a bird ruin his only chance for water? Determined, the king filled the leaf bowl once more. After what felt like an eternity, the bowl was finally full. As the king lifted the water to his lips for the second time, the same parrot swooped down and knocked it from his hands. Water spilled everywhere again. This time, the king's anger ignited into fury. His face flushed with rage. "How dare this bird stop me from drinking?" the king shouted. Grabbing his sword, he vowed that if the bird dared to come near again, it would pay the price. For the third time, the king began collecting water. But now his focus wasn't just on quenching his thirst. It was on revenge. Every drop of water that fell into the bowl only fueled his hatred for the parrot. Finally, the bowl was full again, and just as before, the parrot swooped down to knock the bowl away. But this time, the king was ready. With all his might, he swung his sword and struck the bird down. The parrot fell to the ground, lifeless. The king felt a fleeting sense of triumph. At last, he could drink his water without being disturbed. But as he stood over the bird's body, a strange unease settled in his heart. Something didn't feel right. With a heavy sigh, the king decided to climb the tree to investigate where the water was coming from. He wanted to be sure there was no other source of water he was missing. To his horror, he discovered a poisonous snake lying dead on the branch. The water he had been collecting was contaminated by the snake's venom. In that moment, the king's heart sank. The parrot had been trying to save him. It wasn't his enemy, it was his protector. In his blind rage, he had killed the very creature that was trying to keep him alive. The king was overwhelmed with guilt and regret. His anger had led him to commit an irreversible mistake. This story isn't just about a king or a parrot. It's about all of us. Just like the king, when we let anger take control, we often act rashly, hurting others and ourselves. Anger blinds us to the truth, making us impulsive and destructive. The king's lack of patience led to the death of the parrot. But what if, instead of reacting with anger, the king had paused, taken a deep breath, and thought through the situation. He would have seen that the parrot was trying to help him. A moment of patience could have saved him from a lifetime of regret. Anger, like the poison in the water, seeps into our hearts and minds. It makes us act in ways that don't serve us. It harms our relationships, our peace of mind, and sometimes, like the king, it leads us to do things we can never take back. Now that we've learned the dangers of anger, let's talk about how we can avoid falling into the same trap as the king. There are 5 simple yet powerful steps to control our anger, and with practice, these methods can help us lead a more peaceful, fulfilling life. The first step is pause and reflect. Whenever you feel anger bubbling up inside you, the first thing you should do is pause. Like the king, we often act without thinking when we're angry. Taking just a few seconds to stop and reflect can make all the difference. In that pause, ask yourself, is this worth my peace of mind? Will this matter in the long run? A moment of reflection can prevent us from saying or doing something we'll later regret. The second step is deep breathing. Anger causes your body to react. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your breathing becomes shallow. Deep, slow breaths can calm your nervous system and help you regain control. Close your eyes and take several deep breaths, focusing on the air entering and leaving your body. This simple practice can reduce anger significantly. The third step is empathy and understanding. When someone or something makes you angry, try to put yourself in their shoes. Why are they behaving this way? What are they feeling? Understanding the other person's perspective can often reduce your anger and help you approach the situation with compassion. The fourth step is patience. Patience is the antidote to anger. If the king had exercised patience, he would have noticed that the parrot was trying to save him. In your own life, when something goes wrong, practice patience before reacting. Things aren't always what they seem, and a little patience can save you from unnecessary regret. The fifth and final step is channel your energy. Anger is a form of energy. Instead of letting it explode outwards, channel it into something productive. Go for a walk, write down your feelings, or even exercise. Use the energy of your anger to achieve something positive instead of destructive. So, my friends, the story of the king and the parrot serves as a reminder. Anger is not your enemy. It's a signal that something needs to be addressed. Use the techniques we've discussed today, and you'll find that anger has less and less power over your life. Remember, anger is temporary, but its consequences can be permanent. Acting in anger can blind you to the truth, and it may lead you to do things you will deeply regret. But with patience, reflection, and understanding, you can avoid the mistakes that anger causes. If you found this story and these techniques helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this message with someone who needs it. Together, we can spread the wisdom of patience and peace. Comment below and let us know which technique you're going to practice the next time you feel anger rising. Stay calm, stay positive, and remember, a moment of patience in a moment of anger can prevent 1,000 moments of regret. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.